Hello, hello, my beautiful, amazing Transform Your Marriage community. I have missed you guys. I've been talking to some of you, and this last week I've been taking some time with my family just to recharge. Um, and that's how the topic for today came about. And today we're going to talk about really the importance of healing ourselves. Because what I am realizing, the more that I coach women, the more that I do this work, the more that I work on my own relationship, which is constantly and consistent and daily, and all of my relationships, I realize the importance of really doing that inner work, of healing, of connecting to who I am. And really, you know, without that, there is no opportunity to have a fulfilling relationship. There is no, opportunity to connect with your partner or even with your kids or with anybody else until you actually do that work of healing yourself and really reflecting on where you are. And the deeper you heal, the more connection you're going to feel, the more you're going to have this opportunity to create a relationship, a marriage that you really love. Because when we heal, when we really connect to ourselves, we, clear space. And we clear the space where we can actually have, you know, genuine, conscious connection. So that's what I'm excited to talk to you about. If you're joining me live, make sure that you say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. I love to connect with each and every one of you. If you're watching the replay, just hashtag replay so I can also say hello and connect with you. If you and I haven't connected yet on a personal level, I would love to connect with you. I want to know who you are. I want to know every one of you in this group. And, I'm committed that this group isn't just some group that you join on Facebook, but it's really a resource for you where you get to grow, where you really get to learn, where you get resources to support you in your journey of, self-love, of really creating an amazing relationship with yourself and your partner, because that's what it's about. That's what I stand for. That's what I'm passionate about. That's what I love. That's how I live my life. So I want to share all of my knowledge and everything, all of my experiences, share it with you in this group. So, use me as a resource. I'm here for you. And if we're new, if you are new to the group, I'm Yana, and I am a conscious relationship coach, and I also created the Transform Your Marriage program along with my husband. And I am really passionate about helping women rediscover that connection and fulfillment in their relationships by really developing a deep understanding of who they are, of really, creating that relationship with self first and opening up their hearts and really, putting that into loving and heart centered communication. So, a lot of women tell me that communication is something that they need to work on in their relationship. And I love that. And I, share a lot of different resources and ways to communicate, but it always starts with self. So, what do I mean when I, talk about healing yourself? Because I think a lot of times, if you haven't been on this journey of healing, um, the word heal, I think for a lot of us, has us go to a place where there's something wrong with us, right? Like in the normal kind of just by default inherited way that we relate to that world, heal, that there's something wrong with us. And the way that I want to talk about healing today is not that there's anything wrong at all. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with healing. There's nothing wrong, when you're doing the work of healing. We all, like no matter how great of a childhood you had, we all have healing work to do. All of us. And the deeper we go into the healing, the more opportunity we have to really grow as a human being and in our relationship. So I'm going to talk a little more about, what I mean by healing. Let me see who's watching with me. I see some people are watching, so just say hello. I want to know who's here with me so we can interact and build that personal connection. So what do I mean by healing? So first of all, we can, talk about healing where it relates to this lifetime, to, the traumas that we experience in our life. So all of us, no matter what kind of childhood we had, no matter what, happened to us growing up, we all have experienced some level of trauma. Whether it's with parents or grandparents or friends or, your teachers, or somebody said something, or whatever it is, there's something that happens, and then we internalize it, or, when we're kids, and it creates a trauma in our mind, in our bodies, in our spirits, and we limit ourselves. Okay, and they can be little traumas or they can be big traumas. And it doesn't matter how small or big, they're things that we start telling ourselves that basically limit us from our full expression. They limit our spirit from just showing up as who we truly are in the world. And that's what I mean when I say, those traumas. So those traumas, they live on with us, in this lifetime, and they will impact the way we are and the way we show up in our relationships. So when I talk about healing trauma, I'm talking about really going to work on looking at, and not just, looking with your eyes, but really like going deep and really going to those places where the trauma occurred and healing those traumas. Okay. So that's, one way to heal. But in order to really fully heal, you really want to look at it from a holistic approach, because it's not just, mentally that you can go and heal. When I think about healing, I really, think about the holistic approach where it has to happen on physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual levels. So, we're multidimensional beings, human beings. We're not just, meat suits with a brain. We have a lot of dimensions to us. So if you truly want to do the healing work, and, I think all of us do, because all of us want that fulfillment, you really have to look at it from all of those different parts. Okay. So, if you're just working on the spiritual level, but you're not actually healing physically, you're not actually healing your body, then consider that there's only going to be a part of the healing work that's going to be done. So it's really important that when you're on the healing journey, that you are really looking at all of the aspects of healing, and you're seeking, different ways to heal. So, that's something that we can talk about for hours, but I'll basically, really just wanted to touch on the importance of taking all of the aspects of healing into consideration. And, if you're ready to do that work, to really look at all of the different aspects. Another thing that, I'm learning, and I've learned through my own healing journey, is how much we need to surrender, and we need to let go of control, and to really, open up our hearts in order to heal. You know, what we do so much of the time when we have these traumas is we judge them, we make them wrong, we hold on to them, and we keep kind of bringing them forward. You know, it's like this big baggage that we carry, and we keep carrying it into our relationships. And what, you know, it truly means to heal is to really look inside that bag and open the bag and go through all of it and take it all out and give it love, and you move forward, leaving that bag or emptying the bag. You can take the bag, but an empty bag. Okay? So without judgment, without, you know, making it wrong or right, just really observing it and really just allowing, you know, for love to be there, for compassion to be there, and just really bringing that to your bag. And I'm just coming up with this, like, you know, vision. So we have these traumas that happen to us when we're little, right? And a lot of times we are not able to, or we haven't moved past the traumas. And I almost see this vision of like us being little girls carrying this heavy, heavy, heavy bag. So if you're not healing all of this stuff, you know, imagine you're like a little girl carrying a big, heavy bag that's been, you know, just accumulating stuff. And then you come into a relationship with this big, heavy bag that hasn't been emptied. And, you know, all of this stuff starts coming out of the bag when you're in the relationship. So you have, you know, breakdowns in your relationship. You start fighting, you start bickering about crazy things that don't even matter. And you're like, why is this happening? Well, consider that it's happening because you haven't been really healing those areas of your life. Okay? So any area that we aren't healing gets triggered in our relationship. So, hi, Susanna. So good to see you. So when you're not aware of these triggers, of these things that, you know, are in your bag, and you're just trying to move forward, it's going to feel really heavy. You're going to feel stuck. Okay? And I want you to use that heaviness, that feeling of stuckness, as an opportunity for you to really do that healing work. So you know, what I'm offering to you is, instead of trying to keep moving forward and trying to keep pushing through, or, you know, maybe disconnecting from your partner and looking for something else to do, or even, you know, going to places thinking like, oh, this, you know, this doesn't work, my marriage doesn't work, my relationship doesn't work, I need to find a new one, or whatever way that you go. Instead of doing that, what I'm inviting you to do is, when all of those things are coming up inside of your relationship, you thank God for them and you use them as opportunities to heal whatever is underneath the stuff that's coming up. Because whatever triggers us is an opportunity for us to heal. Okay, so how do you do that healing work? I know, you know, there's a gajillion ways to do it. There's so many, you know, things that we can do that really serve us in those four areas, in the spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical aspects. And I'll talk about, you know, a few of them. I don't know all of the healing modalities. I mean, there's so much, and I'm always discovering, but I'll share with you what I've discovered in my own journey and what has really been supportive for me, and, you know, from my relationship with my partner, and what's really been very, very healing. So first of all, the most important thing to really heal is to practice self-awareness and practice being conscious. That is like the first step. Okay, most of the time as human beings, we are on autopilot. 95% of the time, we're just going and going and going, and we're always doing, and we're just on autopilot. And I don't mean just doing, but like our mind, our thoughts. And we are just recycling thoughts that we had from the day before, and the day before, and the day before, and the day before, and it just keeps going. Okay, I think 80% of our thoughts are the same thoughts as we had yesterday, which is crazy, right? Like, if you aren't being conscious of them, if you aren't, practicing being self-aware and conscious, you're just going on autopilot. So you're going to produce the same results in your life and in your relationship if you're doing that over and over and over again. So how do you become conscious and self-aware? So I'll share some of, there's like I said, a ton of ways, but what I do is I wake up every day and I meditate. So meditation is huge. A lot of people tell me that they don't have time for meditation, but meditation is your access to really bringing more awareness and consciousness to what is actually happening in your mind, in your body. You allow this space to pause and to really self-reflect. So it's very powerful. It's, super important. It's life-changing. So meditation, huge. Spending time alone. I know for mamas, it's hard sometimes to really find that time alone. But if you can find even 20 minutes a day to spend time alone, it's going to be huge. Because sometimes, when we're serving everybody else and we're not taking that time alone, we just are in this like consistent autopilot way. And then one day we're just like, what the heck happened to me? I'm, not fulfilled. I don't know how I got here. And I hear this all the time, from women. They're like, I don't know how I got here. So really spending that time alone so you can self-reflect as well is really big. It might not seem like it, but it really is. I remember when I was a new mom and I had little ones where I couldn't just leave them, alone. My husband actually, he was awesome, and he told me to get a babysitter for 2 hours, twice a week, and just go and spend time by myself. And in my mind, I was like, this is crazy. Like, why would I do that? I have kids that I need to, attend to. I need to cook. I need to do a bunch of stuff while they're napping. And like, I could use the babysitter for so many other things. But I took his coaching and I would do that. And it was life-changing. Like, literally, it made such a difference. I was just feeling more happy. I was able to process stuff that was coming up for me. It was just such a big, difference maker. So if you are not able to find that time, create it, because it's not just going to happen. Even if your husband is not supportive, create that time alone. It's really important. So, another thing that you can do is journaling. Journaling is so like amazing. It brings so much self-awareness to you, and you don't even have to know what you're journaling about. You can literally get a journal and just start writing. I start my journal saying, "Dear God," and I just write, and things just will flow out of you that are there. And what happens when you journal is you move that energy, like you move those thoughts outside. They're not just going to be stuck in your head. So it's a very powerful way to heal when you journal. So that's, something that's a very powerful, really simple step that you can do. And it doesn't have to take long. You can, take 10 minutes every morning. I like to do it in the morning and just journal. Makes such a difference. So that's something that's really huge. Self-care is very, also, it's like such a big part of healing ourselves, just self-care. And, to really heal yourself is to come back to love, to come back to loving yourself. Because when we come from that place of love within ourselves and we're loving ourselves, then we're able to really show up for our relationships. We're able to really show up and be who we are here to be. So self-care is, you know, a step towards self-love. Self-care gives you the access to really honoring yourself and to, expressing to yourself and to the universe how important you are. So it's an action that you can take, or it's a way of being. So, self care doesn't have to be going to get your nails done. It can just be, you noticing that you're having thoughts that are negative and you're beating yourself up, and you stopping those thoughts and switching them and reframing those thoughts to thoughts that are really loving and telling yourself how much you love yourself. You can literally just go look in the mirror and tell yourself how beautiful you are. And if that, is too much, you can just choose one thing that you really like about yourself. And, you can express that thing to yourself in the mirror. That's also a form of self-care. Or it can be, waking up and going on a drive by yourself. It can happen in so many different ways, self-care. But self-care is definitely, an opportunity for that healing to happen. Okay. Another way that, you can really move towards that journey of healing is practicing and learning not to take things personally. So that's also that also can be part of self-care. So much of the time we take things so personally with our partners, with things that happen in the world, with our kids, with how we look, how we feel, with food. It's crazy, but we take all of these things personal, like it has something to do with us. And to really practice not taking things personally is, a practice of healing and a practice of self-love. So, and it is a practice, okay? It's a practice that you have to really take on and practice. And, it all comes down to being conscious and being self-aware. Then doing inner child work is also very powerful and very healing. And, if you look up on Google, like what kind of exercises, there's so many exercises that you can do to really heal your inner child. But basically, inner child work is where you honor that little girl inside of you. And you start to really mother that little girl and love her and give to her. And, the more you do that, because all of us have this inner girl in us that, wants that love, that was hurt at some point growing up or, wherever. But all of us, once we start to mother that little girl and really, express that love and gratitude to her, that is such a powerful healing process. So really, listening to your inner child and giving her that space and loving on her is huge in the healing journey. So another way to heal is to really start listening to your body and to your intuition. A lot of us women, we have a really deep and strong intuition, but we don't listen to it. We think that, or maybe we were told when we were kids that something is off, or that, some other authority is right, and we don't listen to that voice that's inside of us. And that voice is very powerful. It's the voice that's connected to spirit. It's the voice that, really is here to guide us. So, to quiet down, to really slow down, and to listen to that inner voice is very, very important. And then your body is also connected to spirit and to, that voice and to your intuition. So when your body is aching, or your body, is not feeling its best, that is something to also pay attention to and to really work with. Because it's all, your body's always giving you messages. Your body's always telling you things. So, part of that healing journey is really listening to your body as well and to slow down. Okay. So, another way that, you can really work on healing is to get help. A lot of times we don't see, most of the times, we don't see where we really need to heal. We might see the surface things, but we cannot really see it when we're in it. So to get therapy or to get coaching is really, really powerful. And to have a support system like a counsel that really helps you in your healing journey is, incredible. I mean, I've worked with coaches and healers, and I'm always looking, to work with different people, because I know that I can't count on myself to do all that work. I need somebody to really support me and to guide me and to help me see what I'm not seeing. So that's also very, very powerful. And then one other thing that I've, experienced and I'm a big proponent is plant medicine. So that is very, very deep healing work, plant medicine. And it's extremely, extremely helpful when you're on your healing journey, because it goes really deep. I actually sat in a plant medicine ceremony this last weekend, and it was eye-opening to so many things, and so much healing happened. And it was like I couldn't do that healing on my own. So that's another way. And there are so many other ways. I mean, there's Reiki, there's hypnotherapy, there's, EFT, emotional freedom technique. There's so many things, so many modalities. And you just really, if you are open, the most important thing is really being open. And if you are open to that healing to happen, all you have to do is say, I'm ready. And it will show up. The right modality for you will show up. The most important thing is for you to say, I'm ready. Like, I am ready to heal, and I'm ready to do the work, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to do that work. I'm ready to invest, because it can be an investment of time, of money, to do that work. But if you are ready, that's all you have to do is say, I am ready. And it's like that saying. What's that saying? The teacher, I always mess up sayings. My husband always makes fun of me because I can never get it right. But when the student is ready, the master will appear. Is that the right way to say it? Yeah. Rick is behind. He's like, yes, that's the right way. But yes, when the student is ready, the master will appear. So if you're ready for your healing, your healer, your teacher, your support system, whatever you need is going to appear. All you have to do is be ready. Okay. And, if you need support, I am also here to support you. When women work with me, there's major healing happens, and that's what I'm all, about. That's what I stand for. So please reach out if you need that support, and I'm happy to support you in your healing journey. And let me know if you have any other questions, or even if you want any referrals for, practitioners. I have, a lot of resources of healing modalities and friends who do healing work and so much. Let me know, and I'm happy to connect you with, with all of it. And what else? So on April 12th, this is the announcement for today. On April 12th, I'm going to be doing another workshop, the Fight Less, Love More workshop. And it's going to be happening right here in the group. If you've already gone through it, you can go through it again. You can invite friends, sisters, moms, whoever to join you. It'll be incredible. I feel it already because I've been doing so much healing work. So I know even though the content is going to be similar, it's going to be different because I'm in a completely different space. So I'm super excited to show up for all of you. You know, this workshop really is an opportunity for healing. So I hope you can join me, and I look forward to seeing you. And I will be back here next Thursday, every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you have ideas for any topics, please let me know. I'm happy to implement those ideas. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm so grateful that you were here with me. Susanna, I know you're here. Hi, Susanna. And I'm sorry I haven't been reading the comments, but let's see. You're struggling. I'm gonna read the comments so I can make sure that I reply. Um, yes, and Susanna, it takes so much courage to do the work of healing. It's so important, you know, to know that and to give yourself grace and compassion because it's not an overnight thing. It happens, you know, over time. I started my healing journey like 15 years ago, and it doesn't stop. It does not stop because, you know, like I said, we're multifaceted beings, and there's always things that are coming, and there's so many things that, you know, we're working through, and not just in this lifetime, but things that have been passed down to us from our ancestors, from other generations. So, you know, if you're holding on to those past hurts, the past trauma, then get help. Get help, and there's nothing, you know, that can't be healed. You can do it. You can, okay? It just takes courage and willingness. And I know you're willing because you're here every Thursday and you're always, you know, open to learning, and you're incredible. And all of you who are watching this, you guys are so amazing because you're here and you're learning and you're opening up your hearts and your minds to another way. So I acknowledge you and I appreciate you. And I want you to know how loved you are. And, you know, not just by me, but by spirit, how loved you are by everyone. So thank you. And I look forward to connecting with you.